Welcome back to the Midnight Who Show, and today we're going to be reviewing Chapter 2 of Doctor Who Flux, War of the Sontarans. And wow, this was such a good episode. Seriously, to have the Sontarans back and actually fighting again and just being their war-craving selves was so cool. I'm so glad that Chibnall brought them back. And the design they did for the Sontarans was phenomenal. I really like it. It definitely feels modern, but also classic Who. They did a very good job bridging the two, and they even have a classic Who reference from the Time Warrior, which is always a nice touch. Now, I can also say, what an interesting opening in black and white in the mysterious house. I'm really curious to see what that's going to be all about. Overall, yeah, this was a fantastic episode. I will also give praise to Jodie Whittaker. Seriously, I think this might be one of my favorite performances from her, and especially since she lost her two companions in this episode, and she kind of even lost the TARDIS as there was no entrance door, which is so weird to see. And the face that she has, because it was so good. And I enjoyed her teaching everyone about the Sontarans and how to defeat them. So good. Now, this episode finds the Doctor, like I mentioned, separated from Yaz and Dan. Dan is transported back into the modern times where the Sontarans successfully invaded, and we soon learn that their plan is to send basically ships back throughout time to conquer Earth. Yaz is transported to a mysterious planet, Time, with some interesting things happening in this kind of temple. And she meets Vinder, which I think is a really cool character. I'm really excited to see more about Vinder. Unlike last week, I think this episode has a much better pace to it. We only have really 3 main stories, and kind of 2 of them combined together. So it definitely was a lot more enjoyable to watch in a way. But just to see the Sontarans back, I think, is the highlight of the story. I also like the historical element that Chibnall brought into this with Mary Sequel and the Crimea War. Great element for the Sontarans as you kind of just see them ready to declare a massacre. And we really do see that in a way. And we'll say the CGI effects in this episode were really good. There's a few spots, I will say, but overall, it was decent. And to think that they had to do some of this stuff because of the pandemic, I think they did a great job with it. Now, Swarm and Azura, I think that's the name, are very menacing and terrifying. Seriously, they're so well designed too, and I'm really excited to see their full plan come to fruition, especially after this episode. And that cliffhanger, wow, that was a cliffhanger. So excited for next week. But yeah, War of the Sontarans was a phenomenal second part to Flux. Seriously, having these Sontarans back and actually feeling like Sontarans again was a nice touch. I think Chibnall crafted a really good second part. One of my favorite elements in the story was definitely that the Doctor was separated from her companions. It allowed us to see a lot more of what Yaz would do, basically in a situation without the Doctor. And we get to see Dan kind of develop a little bit more as a character. And even after episode 2, I'm really sold as him as a companion. I think he's a great addition to the TARDIS team. So that's my overall thoughts on War of the Sontarans. I really enjoyed it. Seriously though, Chibnall, where was this writing for a couple of seasons? I'm actually excited for the next week of Doctor Who, which I haven't been for, the last previous seasons. I'm really excited to see where Flux heads to in the next 4 weeks. And yeah, I think this could be a very great Doctor Who story. So if you've seen War of the Sontarans, let me know your thoughts in the comments below, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye, everyone.